This is it. Time to talk about our caravan shopping experience, eh? We went around heaps of manufacturers. It was really fantastic to actually be in the heart of where they all come from, see the actual places where they're built or get imported into. As you can see right here, we got to take some films of some great looking vans. Some people did request us not to film, and sometimes it was just really awkward to actually do it with someone else around. One of our biggest takeaways was you can definitely see, whilst being there, the brands that are going to support you rather than the ones who are just talking. And you can sort of see that within their layout and their facility and the way they speak. Just remember what you're there for. There are some great brands who are going to stand by you. There are a lot of horror stories out there, and that's what sort of scared us with the whole industry. A lot of people buying vans, and they're taking these vans on their first trip and they've got major issues already, whether it's water leaking in, something to do with tires, all sorts, right, everywhere you look. And these brands aren't doing anything for 6 months or anything like that. So something that we've sort of found is you want to be able to be serviced and looked after all around Australia. You want that brand to be using brands that, I'm just going to use a stove for instance, that you don't have to send back, they check on, and then send you out a new one. You want it to be either locally available all around Australia to a degree. A stove is a hard one. How many people are going to keep a stove in stock? But you want that support then and there. You sort of don't want to be waiting that long for a product to get all the way to where you are in the middle of nowhere. Whereas if you went with a certain brand, there's a good chance that they would have that on the shelf. And I'm talking about like fridges, stoves, air cons, all that sort of stuff. And we've learnt that firsthand just being in the troop carrier with different products letting us down. And they've requested us to send it back to them and wait. And that's like a 2 to 3 week process. So we've had to buy another brand in the meantime. So that's definitely something moving forward we've learnt and know that we'll be working towards just because of that. And there are some great brands that do things from start to finish. They handle absolutely everything. So if you have an issue, you're going to be able to call them and they should be able to know who dealt with that van, not trying to contact someone else to contact someone else to contact someone else down the road in a different business. So to have that all in-house would be really handy, but not too many people did that, to be honest, from what we've seen. So it's one of those things. I believe you'd certainly pay a premium for that as well, but it is nice to know that that company knows everything that goes on with that van, not just a small portion of it. And honestly, after this whole ordeal of looking at them and going around and seeing them, my biggest takeaway, I believe, is that you didn't have the inspector go around on a 3 o'clock Friday waiting for beers. I think that's your biggest takeaway, is that you have someone who really goes over it with a fine-tooth comb before it leaves that factory, because things happen. I get that. With any manufacturer, you've got to expect that people make mistakes, and that's fine. Like, we get that. But you don't want to have yours put together on a Friday, everyone rushing out, and it's just like, bang, 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 done, yep, sign it off, let's get it out. And you can see that a lot, to be honest. There was some pretty sloppy stuff around, even in some names that are quite good, you could see. And the other thing we sort of picked up on was after shows, you know that cupboard's been open like 100 times, and you could feel the ones that are already starting to wear out and the ones that still felt like brand new. And that was really interesting as well. So even something as simple as a cupboard, you could sort of feel that quality compared to others, especially after a show. And you can see the wear and tear in certain spots. Personally, for me, it comes down to a couple of different things. You're either going to go for a premium brand and get that support that you are investing in and wanting to receive, or you're going to go that cheaper brand and know that you're probably going to have to allow, I'm just going to throw a figure out there, don't quote me on it, but allow 20 grand to maybe do some little upgrades along the way, change the tyres to some better ones after a few thousand Ks of wearing those ones out, upgrading your bearings and stuff maybe, and just waiting for things to go wrong, carrying around silicone so you can seal up those things that are going to rattle loose. You've got sort of two options there, is how I envisage it personally. 20 grand might be a big number, but unfortunately now, like 100 grand sort of doesn't get you the best caravan. That's nearly, if you go that caravan level, that's nearly where your beginner sort of vans start, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, far out. I feel sorry for anyone who is now in these last 5 years and probably the next 5 to 10 years retiring. You've got a long way to make up with money to catch up to what just, you know, the grey nomad life is now. The car is so expensive, the caravans are so expensive, and it's going to be hard whether you just have to bite the bullet and go second hand. But definitely do your research, please. I can't recommend any brands because I haven't used them. You know what I mean? It's, you know, like I look at these top tier brands and they look fantastic, but I personally have never towed with them. I've seen people have them, they look fantastic, but I've still heard of issues, you know what I mean? What we've sort of narrowed it down to in what we are going to be chasing from a van, this is a personal thing, and I have to say that there is no one whole setup that suits anybody. In our heads still, we are still confused whether we have a caravan or try and do a truck build. We've had a caravan, so we sort of know what to expect. A truck is really exciting for us because we've never had one. We have to go and get our license. It's out of our comfort zone and sort of scares us a bit. And I think that's exciting to try. And everybody says that they're too big. And I'd love to just give it a crack, you know, like I like to try new things and I love to learn about this industry and different stuff. So why not give that one a shot? That sort of excites me, that I'm scared of it in a way, if you know what I mean. And they both can do two different things and they're great in their own right, if that makes sense. So, you know, in an ideal world, I'd love to have both and then use them for the scenario that we want to use them in our head and how we envisage it. And is a truck the right way? I don't know until we try it and get out there and experience it. We've loved the Troopy. It's been an unreal way of living. So in my head, I assume that I would really enjoy it, or we would. I'm not just speaking for me. Unfortunately, Maddie just is doing something else today. So she has said that that's the way she would like to go as well, but we're open to both. This is how we see it and what we want out of something moving forward. Probably no more than a 16-foot caravan. We would like to stay smaller, stay where we can go down those tracks and get into those places that we absolutely love. We enjoy being out in the bush. We enjoy having that challenge of getting to a campsite. So we still want to try and stay compact. 16 foot is up on there on that bigger scale if we could go smaller, but we'll see. There's definitely some nice vans in that sort of range that definitely tick our boxes. So we'll see. Compact toilet and shower, whether that be separate but just not taking up as much space as like our old Caravan did. I would love it to just be a lot more compact. Whether that is a combo shower and toilet, this is very controversial. Last time we said this, so many people reached out and said it's all well and good, but then you'll have dirty pants going to the toilet. If it's that bad, take them off before you go in and wipe your feet on the way out. I don't know, we've had it before. We lived in that for over a year and it worked perfectly. Yes, you will have scenarios like that, but fortunately for us, no disrespect, but we don't go to the bathroom as many other people might in their stage of life. So yes, it might not be the ideal thing for yourselves having that combo shower and toilet, but for us, we believe that we can work around it. Battery power. All right, it's a massive topic and there's a good reason for that. We love to stay off grid. I hate going to caravan parks, and it's not just because of the money. It's also because this is free, and look at our backdrop. You don't get that at many caravan parks. So we love the lifestyle for this. This is what it's about for us. So a minimum of 400 amps of lithium. You will get away with 200, yes, but you're not going to want to use those bigger appliances, especially running Starlink and things like that. You'll just have to be quite energy efficient with your battery power and what you're running and really do calculation. And same with 400 amps. That still wouldn't be ideal for us. We would still have to watch it just because we run the air fryer and things like that, the induction cooker, Starlink, all those sorts of things, plus charging everything that we have. That's a minimum for us. I would like to be up there If we could double it, that would just be unreal, and hopefully that could keep us off grid for a long time. But minimum 400 for us, just because of what we run. And really think about that in that manufacturing stage, because at least then it's done from the manufacturer. And hopefully they have a great way to like mount your batteries so they're not in a terrible spot. And now with the new laws having to be vented and everything like that, it'd be good to just have that done straight away for you. Now to charge that, I know nothing about this sort of stuff, but I've seen a video that Sarah and Keelan made. I don't know what it was now, but he has mentioned multiple times, I believe, that say we have the 400 amps of lithium, you then want to double your solar. And you know, we don't have double right now with our setup, but I think he's spot on. He knows a lot more about this stuff than me, so please go over there and suss them out. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've already heard about them. They seem to be a fantastic couple that are really knowledgeable in that space and tested a lot of stuff, which is cool. So certainly go to them for more information on that. But I think I'll work off his rule of thumb. Off-road van would be absolutely unreal, just to test it and see how that goes. I've owned one, but I've also owned one with leaf springs like the Caravan. I didn't really see a difference. The Caravan had leaf springs, but the ground clearance of off-road, and personally, I thought it towed well, it went off-road well, it handled everything well. Ground clearance is all I'm chasing. Would I love the top of the spec stuff? Absolutely. I'd love to test it all out. I'd love to rock up to camp, flick a switch, auto level. It does sound fantastic, but we'll see. Payload, I personally still want 500 kilos or more. We take a lot of stuff on the road. We go off grid a lot, and I really need that payload, especially for water. By the time you fill your fridge up and stuff like that, all your clothes, everything you sort of take, you've now got to remember that if you're going to live this lifestyle, it is your home. That's a big thing to remember. So having a big payload is what you're going to need, because to have all those comforts from home come with you has to fit within that. Minimum 200 litres of water. That is a minimum. I'd love more if we could, but that will come down to the payload and our weights and things like that at the end of the day. But I think that's going to keep you off grid long enough, roughly within that week or so, if you're going to try and shower all the time. A must is grey water. We have to have grey water, especially now to be self-contained. That is one of the biggest things. And heading into WA, I know they are massive for it. So attach that any way you can, even if you have to do it on your van that you've got secondhand or whatever, find a way to mount something up there and get it plumbed in so you can be off grid and self-sufficient in a lot of those places that are spectacular that you need it. We really want outdoor living space. That was the whole reason for heading into the troop carrier and having this living space outdoors. And we want that again. So whether that's a kitchen that slides out, a hatch that lifts up and you've got the kitchen there, we sort of want all that accessible from outside, and maybe an induction cooker for inside that we can take in and out. But I definitely want to spend more time outside. That was one thing I hated about the big caravan that we had, was everything was inside. So we always found ourselves going inside rather than spending it outside. And I know you can be self-conscious and like bring that out, but to have everything outside and where everything is what we would love. And the biggest thing why this has all really come about is just that full-time living comfort. This is our house on wheels, whatever it may be, and you need to be comfortable. You have to remember that at the end of the day, you are trying to create a small, compact house to travel and see these incredible places. So Maddie needs a great workspace. Luna needs to be comfortable as well. And same for myself, you know, I'd love to go back to a bed now. Being 6'4", I would love to go back to a bed where I can hang my feet out the side. So all those sort of things you need to really think about to be comfortable full time. So it sounds like a big list. It's not too bad, to be honest. There were a few caravans that certainly ticked every single box, but at the end of the day, they didn't blow me away. I didn't walk into anywhere going, wow, that's the one. Like, this feels like home. There were certainly some that ticked all our boxes and was cool, but some were a lot of money, like big bucks. And I just don't know if I can justify it. And for those sort of dollars, I want to be wowed. I want to be excited about it. But I just couldn't be with many of them, to be honest. There were a lot that we just walked in and went, it's cool, like it's put together well, but it just didn't scream home. I don't know if I could justify, you know, sharing it with you guys to say this is the brand for you, if you know what I mean. It's one of those things. That's a personal opinion, and I'm going off topic. If you are in this same boat, I hope this sort of thing helps. Please ask any questions, share your input. I'm sure there'll be people reading in the comments, looking into getting into their first caravan maybe. As I've always said, I can't stress this enough. Go and rent a van. I don't think it's talked about enough. Go and rent a couple over a weekend and try them out. Everybody always says, what are you going to learn in a couple of days? Well, we took mum and dad in their brand new van that they purchased, and they've already got things that they wish they had changed, stuff that they know that they would want next time already. And that was from 2 trips. And that can give you a better understanding before you go and spend that $100,000. Yes, you might feel that you've wasted $1,000, but $100,000 on a van is such big dollars, and you can sort of get a feel for it, find out what sort of living space you want, even as simple as wanting an L-shaped couch and a cafe couch. People are adamant that they want a certain one straight away, but they've never tried it. So that's why I like to change around and try different things, so then I know what I like. Definitely rent a van, start writing little things down, what you do like, don't like. Do you want cooking outside? Do you want a Weber outside? Do you want a wood box? Do you want the full ensuite on the back of the caravan? Or would you prefer it to be more compact? Do you want a big C-shaped lounge? Try it all and learn before you go and spend those big bucks. That is my opinion, if it's worth anything. Guys, this is me from the future. Just wanted to quickly say, it doesn't matter what you have. You don't have to be out here with the biggest and flashiest setup. We have never owned a brand new caravan. We just personally wanted to go and see what these vans have to offer and the modern day technology. But we've done it in a second-hand van, and then we've lived in the troop carrier for a year, which has been unreal. All you need to do is find what fits your purpose, and you can be comfortable out here enjoying this gorgeous country for what it is. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Don't get roped into all the bells and whistles. Just get out here and make those memories. Anyway, back to the video. Overall, our opinion and what are we going to do moving forward? Well, for one, we're here, we don't have one. We are about to pick up the parents, so we've got a long time definitely without a van. We'll be sticking with what we have. We're still torn between a caravan and a truck build, as I sort of touched on. In our heads, we're sort of excited for a truck, but there's so many pros and cons for us. In our head at the moment, like we've just been without the car, getting it fixed, and if we had had a caravan, we could have just sat in a caravan park, had our home, and it would have been super comfortable knowing we had everything in our space. And you can still do that with a truck with a jack-off canopy and stuff, but it's one of those things. If the truck goes down, you might not have that livability, serviceability of a truck. It's a lot to weigh up. We think even if we go down the caravan route, at the moment, we think we might even try and do our own sort of build. Living on the road, it's hard. We don't have a home base. So trying to find a place where we could actually build one out is going to be a big thing, because we might have to spend 6 odd months in one spot trying to do that, because we do not know what we're doing whatsoever. But as a whole, I guess, as I said, nothing wowed us. Nothing was really like, that's the one. There's a lot of different options, and to get everything that we sort of want is big bucks. It's a lot, and I think that we could be comfortable in something that we build and have a bit of fun trying different things. And we're quite lost in that area, if I'm 100% honest. 2 great options, like what a predicament to be in, if you know what I mean. That's one of the toughest decisions we get to make leading into, it'll be next year probably by the time we get to do it. Like, how unreal is that? We're so grateful. That's where we're at. It's just scary to think that you're going to spend $100,000 to $200,000, and you still, at the end of the day, just have to hope that whoever put it together cared for that van like you're going to. Let us know your thoughts. What should we do moving forward? What are you guys excited to see? And in your position, what are you going to pick? Are you going a caravan? Are you thinking a truck build, something a bit left field? Do you want a bigger caravan? Let everyone know, share your opinion, because at the end of the day, this is just mine and Maddie's opinion, and there's no right or wrong answer. As I said before, we would love both builds so we can do different things in different stages, because they both have their pros and cons still. that's life, and we don't always get what we want. So please share it below, because I don't want you guys to get ripped off. There are a lot of cowboys out there in this industry, I feel personally, and it's a lot of money to be thrown around. That's one thing that really boils me, is we love this so much. We love this lifestyle. We love doing what we do. And I hate seeing people spend big bucks, that $100,000, and they're driving down the road and they're without their van now for 6 months because a caravan company has gave them the runaround. I want everyone to be out here experiencing what we get to experience and be comfortable doing it and find that passion like we are so grateful we have. Guys, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for coming with us as we talk all caravans, trucks, and we just share our thoughts and opinion and where we're sort of at. You are an absolute bloody legend. We'll catch you next week. Cheers.